So one quote that I heard when I was listening to this podcast called Seven Chakras is...
Seven chakras?
Seven chakras, yeah.
Very interesting.
Is unconditional love is seeing a stranger and seeing them as yourself. Like, so something like that, yeah.
Seeing a stranger. Why does it have to be a stranger?
Or just like someone that like is not you, and it's seeing a stranger as yourself in disguise. So, okay, let me repeat that. Unconditional love is seeing a stranger as yourself in disguise. And I think that's powerful because I think we tend to see a lot of people and judge relationships and whatever and this and that. And like we're all part of the same fabric of the universe. Like, I really believe that like we experience everything that life has to offer like as one person, as one body. And I really feel like we just have a lot of the same experience. We go through a lot of the same experiences, challenges, feelings.
That's true. And just different variations. Right?
We all want someone to understand us. We all want a relationship that feels compassionate and empathetic, but
that's right.
You have to show up as that person yourself every day. And it can be really tiring. And like I have experienced this recently where I'm like, why am I like, life sucks. Like, I'm just like, why am I like, what am I doing? And I really feel like everything that I've wanted in my life has happened to me. And I feel like it's just been really important for me to be empathetic and loving to people because I feel like I receive that energy back. That's it.
No, that makes a ton of sense. Wow. That's, honestly, I was going to download that a little bit more because I feel like I need to ponder on that.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts?
I really resonated with what you said. I think, recently I was, I love to do a little bit of like researching on like just like random stuff, right? And there is like this belief system that kind of we're all, not to bring religion into it, but like we're all God. Like we're all like facets of God. So when you said that, I almost thought about that belief system, and it's the idea that like when you're seeing a stranger, like the importance of it being a stranger is that you have no tie or connection to them whatsoever, right? Like they're not a family member, they're not a close friend, they're not a coworker, but you're able to have that compassion, that feeling towards somebody who's a stranger, but they're really just you, right? So that's kind of what they're you, they're God, you're God, we're all God. Yeah, so that's...
And you know what? And that's what makes me always, that's why I strongly believe in life is about perspective, right? And because we go through so many of the same experiences, once you put yourself in that person's shoes, you'll be able to see like, oh, they're dealing with something similar, just in a different light, a different version, a different scenario. Whether or not it's worse or it's better, it still gives you that level of like, okay, what if that was me? What if I grew up in the way that they did? Yes. What if I had that same experience they did? What if I grew up around hearing the kind of things that they did? How would I act? You know what I'm saying? And so once you're able to do that, I promise you a lot of things become a lot easier. Not even just in your relationships, in your friendships, in your relationships with your parents, in relationships with your teachers, relationships with your boss, like colleagues. Like, imagine being in as much pressure in their shoes, right? Like, what would you do if you grew up in the time that they did? So it's like, and that's what makes me, so that's why I'm a firm believer of that. And it ties into, like all of us being God. I also, resonate with that as well. As being a Christian, that's in the Bible, like, how God like made us in his image. And so because we were made in his image, you obviously share similar characteristics and we go through similar experiences. We're also all on earth, and human beings tend to be like, same, just like with different versions of each other. So, that's a very interesting concept. Wow. And so what do you think that does about people who don't like themselves? Right? Do you think that helps perpetuate treating other people poorly? Or do you think that more so feeds into their own insecurities and like them not being able to relate with other people appropriately? Like how, is it more innocent than it is negative? What do you think about that?
I think it can be innocently negative. I think if you don't like yourself, you tend to take interactions with that lens and you say, oh, this person looked at me this way, therefore I suck. But if you come with that compassionate lens, then you don't really jump to that conclusion. That's why I think self-love and healing, like he said, was just so powerful. But I don't know at the end. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that maybe this is a hot take, but I think that
We love hot takes. Hotter the better.
that we all experience a little bit of that, not liking ourselves at some point in time throughout life.
Of course.
I feel like, I can't speak for everybody, but just from, again, a lot of the close relationships that I've had where they've, I've been able to open up to them, they've been able to open up to me. There's been a period of time in all of our lives where we just like didn't like ourselves. Something about ourselves, like we just didn't like, we felt inadequate in some sort of way. And I feel like during those times, right, like everything is really dark. Your perspective is dark. And I think that if you don't love yourself, like the way, that it is going to be a reflection of how you treat others or how you think others are treating you. But what I would say with that is that, you are able to kind of nurture and grow from those experiences. I think everyone's able to, right? So even if somebody's in that current period right now, like I would just say to like, just know that like, you're not always going to be there. But just circling back to like answering your question, I think, I do think that unfortunately, if you're in a place where like you don't love yourself, you're not going to be able to love others, especially a stranger.
Well, let me ask you this. In the times that you didn't love yourself, how did you treat other people? How do you think you felt?
Yeah. I feel like for me, I experienced that really young, like in middle school, like 8th grade, I want to say. I feel like I had good relationships then, but I feel like there were certain relationships where they were in my life where like this person just did not like me for like no reason whatsoever, right?
There was person being yourself or
no. It was another individual. I can remember this distinctly, like in 8th grade, where like she just didn't like me. And then it's funny because after, I don't know, like the end of the school year, we like sat down, had a conversation. She explained like, I didn't like you. And it ended up being because it was really silly. I mean, we're in 8th grade, right? But it's like that's like during a period of time where like I, didn't like myself, or like I didn't think I was like pretty or something like that, right? Which like is such a big thing when you're like in middle school. Yeah, that's so so I feel like it kind of mirrored by someone else not liking me for a reason that is quite immaterial. Just for the reason, I guess for myself, I didn't think like I was like pretty enough, which looking back is like an immaterial thing now, but which was something that like seemed so big to me when I was younger. You had that perspective. Yeah.
Wow. The fact that you even had that conversation with her is like, most people are not like, oh, I just don't like you. Like people avoid it.
You're like, what? Like she really was like, I just don't like you. Like, what?
That's like 3rd grade shit right there.
No,
I mean, you're in middle school, so it's like so funny. It's like, I could clearly tell this girl did not like me. Yeah, it ended up being like she didn't like me because I was like good friends with like one of her other friends, and she felt like had like a.
So she was jealous.
She was jealous. She was a little jealous, but.
She's doing now. Okay, I'm sure she's fine.
I mean, she was also we're so young. What is that? 12? Like,
Screw you, Stephanie. What the heck? The heck, man? Having a bad childhood. That's terrible. No, so okay. So when she said that about you, and is that what resulted in you kind of like not liking yourself for a while? Is that what kind of triggered it?
I think like for me, I generally like I went to a mostly white in like school. I think I was like one of 2 Black girls in my school. So I unfortunately went through the experience that a lot of like young Black girls do.
I was going to ask the race thing.
Predominantly white spaces where, I just didn't think I was pretty enough because I didn't look like all the other other pretty girls, right? I didn't have, I didn't like look like everybody else. I didn't think that I was pretty. And so I was having a really hard time with like internally with myself. And this was like,
Wow.
Yeah. And so I think all that to say, I think like my example is just like, I do think I had like good relationships per se, but I know there was like little things like this other relationship with this girl who just didn't like me, right? And I just feel like it was for like a really immaterial reason, which I would just have to equate something that was going on internally, like me not liking myself for a really immaterial reason, which I didn't think that I was pretty, right? So, yeah.
Powerful.
And sorry, I don't mean to harp on this topic, but okay, so then now tying that all together, did you feel like that changed the way that you interacted with people? Well, obviously probably not for the better, but were you more so, letting out your internal frustrations on others, or did you more so kind of hide yourself and not allow people to get too close? Like, what do you feel? Like, what were your interactions with the outside world based on your internal?
I feel like it was less. I feel like it was pretty outgoing at that point in time, but maybe I would think about it like more so with my relationship with like other like guys my age at that time. Like I didn't have any male friendships whatsoever, and I don't know that I like shun away from male relationships because I didn't think that I was like pretty enough or something like that. So like maybe I can kind of equate it to that. I think with female relationships I was like pretty good. I had like a lot, like, some good solid friendships, but like maybe with like male friendships I would shy away more so from like males in general.
So it sounds like you didn't have, like, it sounds like you didn't let the internal feelings you had really impact, I guess, other people negatively, right? Like you didn't take it out on people. It wasn't like an excuse or like an avenue for you to kind of, because I guess what I was really trying to boil down to is like, based on what people think about themselves, and like how they, because like it's on this topic of self-love, right? And like treating other people the way that you treat yourself or think about yourself.
Yeah.
It seems like you're able to detach like your internal feelings with how you treated other people. So maybe the hypothesis of like, so then what does that say about the hypothesis of like, how we treat other people? Is it like we treat ourselves, right? Or is that just something you have to intentionally do? Like you have to like want to treat other people like how you treat yourself. It's not like an innate thing, right? Some people look at other people that are better and treat them better than they would treat themselves, right? That's like a whole dynamic. I don't know, honestly. That's like a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I have a question for you guys. Do men love bitches? Sorry, that's...
Oh, wow. Okay. No. Talk it.
Okay.
Okay.
So, well, there's this book that I saw. That's the title of the book.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like, Why Men Love Bitches.
That's what hell of a name. That's definitely
I
selling.
cannot curse, but but be respectful. No, but so I didn't really vibe with the title. I was kind of like, what does this mean? Like, I don't really like that, a woman.
Okay.
And I was like, what do you like? What? Okay, whatever. I just ignored it. And then it like happened to pop up on like my Amazon, whatever, as I was scrolling because I wanted to read a book. And I ended up getting it just for like giggles.
Nice.
And I read it, and there were a few things that I thought were a little outdated.
Okay.
Like you should let, like, the man must pay for like, I was like, okay, whatever. I don't agree with that. There were some things I didn't agree with, but essentially the message of what she's trying to say is like, a bitch is a babe, stands for a babe in total control of herself. And what she's saying is that you shouldn't be constantly chasing after, oh my God, why is he not calling? Oh my God, like, you should be building your own life. You should be building your own successes, and you should be very in tune with who you are, and just be very like, whatever happens. And if you are that kind of girl, then a man will see that you don't necessarily need him, and that kind of entices. That's kind of like what we were saying before about chasing. But I don't know what the answer is. Like, just on that title alone, like, what do you guys think? Like, I feel like if you see a girl that's very like I don't know, I feel like guys tend to be attracted to her. I don't know, maybe.
It's very interesting. Honestly, it is a very interesting prompt. I can say, me personally, I don't really like B words. I've never really liked them. I do understand, though. I think there's a dichotomy that needs to be separated between a B word and a person who is pretty hard to get, or kind of like reserving themselves to like they have value and they don't want to allow the man to get too close too quickly, or to to undervalue, undermine like how truly worth it you may be to someone else, right? Like, 'cause I think in the end, like it's like it goes back to what we were saying. Like, you can easily get it and it's easily accessible, then it must not really be worth that much, right? At least that's what you're innately gonna feel unless you rewire your mind, think another way. So I think there definitely needs to be a certain level of like kind of easing yourself into the relationship.
Yeah.
I don't know, does that mean you're demanding, you're meaning like you don't want to like you're kind of telling him what to do, or you are not compromising, like I'm in total control. Total control. You know what I mean? Like what's the point of being in a relationship that if you're in total control of everything? You're really, and also, you know what? I saw a TikTok that was like, honestly, I'll probably have the guy play it. There was a woman who was like a therapist, right? I think she's like a psychologist or whatever. She has patients, and a lot of the women that she saw who came in and talking about how they control their man, right? And how they, like the man doesn't really stand up for himself, and like, doesn't really stand up for them, and just kind of tells her what to do. That, they don't really view him as masculine enough, and end up actually trying to source that desire for masculinity from other men, and kind of actually make them cheat more often. That's what she's seen. And I thought that was pretty interesting. I would never have anticipated that link.
Yeah.
But some people attribute heavy levels of cheating, especially on the women's side. Apparently, that's what she said, women cheat more than men. And it's because a lot of these women who are doing that are in households where the man is not necessarily totally, not in control, but like doesn't have as much of a strong should, or as normally would. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah. I feel like I can't really opine on it. I don't know. I'm not sure.
That's okay.
The reason why I bring this up is because I feel like I'm a very warm, empathetic, nice person. I do feel like I have given myself away a lot in my previous relationships, and I think I'm now in an era or like a chapter where I really am realizing my self-worth, and like I mean that in the humblest way possible. But like I do appreciate that I do give a lot, and there are a lot of people, wonderful people in my life that treasure me, and why should I not expect the same out of a relationship?
Not more.
If not more. Like, I give a lot. I pride a lot. Like, I feel like I give it.
No. Talk your stuff.
I gotta protect my peace.
Talk your stuff.
Like, don't give up too much away. And also, like, another thing I want to say is, like, I want to treat myself like I would treat a friend. And this goes back to our conversation about cheating. I would never encourage my friend at the current stage of life that we were at to stay with someone that was cheating on them. And that applies, like, the same as that applies to me as well. So, yeah.
And this has been great. This has been great, guys. Like, it was to us, man.
A round of applause.
That's talking about relationships, about healing. You know what I mean? Thriving. All right. First question: if your partner cheated on you, Lily, how would you get revenge?
By calmly getting up, walking away.
That's so calm.
And continuing my life without them.
Damn! What did I eat? Damn, that ate. Wow.
I mean,
straight up.
Like, I'm a really incredible person, and I've realized this in the past few months. And if you, that shows me you don't want me in your life. And so I'm going to continue it without you, and you're going to realize what you've lost.
Wow. All right. Next question. Zah, have you ever used a dating app before?
Yes, I have.
Oh my God. Okay. How was that? Wow. You used a dating app. What was that dating app?
I've used Bumble, and I've used Hinge, and I've used Tinder.
What's the worst line that you've ever used when you were talking to somebody?
Me personally, I don't think I've used any bad lines.
Oh, that's right. No. What's the worst line that someone has used on you then?
I got one not too long ago. He's like, let's start up a TikTok page and we can make some interracial, let's make interracial babies and start up a TikTok page and become like multimillionaires off of it. And I was just like, what That was the opening.
Okay,
that was the opening.
That was the opening?
Mm-hmm.
Did he even say hi? Did he say hi first?
No.
Okay.
Maybe he did. Maybe he said, hi, let's start. Let's make interracial babies. And yeah.
Are you serious?
I'm being
just the casual fetishization of,
Yeah.
that's race.
That is really...
I'm so like
That's so weird.
That's so
That's
fucking weird.
so weird.
It's weird. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I have a good pickup
What the
line
hell?
that I
Wait, what do you use? That you use or that somebody
so this
used?
is in my little fun era.
Okay.
This was like post-pandemic, and I was being very last like quarter of college. I used to, if I saw someone I really liked, I used to be like, "So what are you doing this weekend?" Thing. I had to say the whole thing. I used to say, so.
Sorry, go ahead. No,
I used to say, so what are you doing this weekend besides me?
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Straight to the point, dog. Damn.
High success rate.
High society. Shit.
In terms of getting, people happy.
Damn, wow. Nah, that's a good one. Ladies, you can use that one.
It was fun to the point, like graduating.
Nah, man. You are confident for that. You are very confident for that. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people don't have the balls to do that. Sorry, that is an old-fashioned term. A lot of people don't have the guts. I'm sorry. Okay, let's choose the next question. What's your most toxic dating trait, Lily?
Oh.
What's your most toxic trait in a relationship?
My most toxic trait. I feel like I expect I don't know. I really fall for people, and I feel like I should like pace myself more, which I've been starting to do. So like if I'm dating someone, I would say, I don't know, if I really enjoy them, like I really, really enjoy them, and I want things to like move quickly, and I don't know if that's like
so like you fall in love quickly?
Yeah.
Like
I do. I'm not like obsessive or anything like that. But I do like I really enjoy spending time. I don't know. Toxic.
Wow. Toxic. I don't know. That's like a nice trait.
I think okay, no. I have a better one. Don't use that. Don't use that.
Okay.
I'm very quietly stubborn, is what I've been told.
Quietly stubborn. That's a first. Never you heard that.
So I'll never ever I'll never like yell at anyone. I never I don't know. At least I've never gotten to that stage of a relationship where I've like yelled.
Really? You never shouted?
At like my partner?
Yeah.
Anyways. I've like sternly talked like this. I've never yelled. There's a lot of yelling when I was growing up. I don't really want to. I don't want to. I don't ever want to yell. I mean, I'd probably break that. But anyway, I've
never done that either. Ever.
Yeah.
I've never shouted that.
Like
yelling.
I don't know,
voice.
all the physical abuse and like I don't want to repeat that shit. Generational trauma. No. But
never raised my voice once.
So yeah, I'm quietly stubborn in the sense of I'll be like, so if someone will say their opinion, I'll be like, but like, have you ever considered, or like, I'll like be like, oh, why don't you think of it this way? Like, I think of it this way. Like, and
yeah, so you gaslight. Is that what you're trying to say?
No,
gaslighter.
No.
Yeah, you're a gaslighter. You're a straight up gaslighter. I hear you. But have you ever thought about it this way?
This is what I remember. My roommate Marie in college. She said that I do that, and then my last relationship, he said that you don't think you're stubborn, but you are. But I'll respect people, but I will be like,
oh, I mean, you always gotta have your opinion.
Yeah.
That's what you want. Yeah. Wait. What's your toxic?
So I'm no longer toxic. I just want everyone to know.
You recovered.
I'm recovering from being toxic.
Nice.
No, but I really and truly, like when I was younger, I would, I'm gonna start like a little argument. Like if things were just like good, was spiced up a little bit. So I'd be like, start a little tiny argument, but I know.
Wait.
That's kind of fun.
So you would want to start? So you would like intentionally start arguing? Seriously?
A tiny little one, yeah.
That's actually something.
And we're just good, like we're good. I'm like, I used to think, well, that's boring. I'd be like, I want a little spice, and then you can like make up afterwards. So it's just kind of like, did you leave that there, like I don't know, or have like your own hair tie, like it's yours. You're like, where'd this hair tie come from? Like. I don't wear those color hair ties, but knowing dang well I
know exactly.
She's recovered.
But I've recovered.
She's a better person now. Okay. All right. That's we'll accept that.